All right, so let's move along then. I'm gonna caveat this real quick, guys. So, poor Maria, for most of this is outside of the frame. I could not get my camera around. Not Maria's fault. Not me. My bad. All right, off we go.
And I am a police officer with the Lake County Sheriff's Department. I was a single mom for 20 years. I raised 4 children by myself. I was lucky enough to be blessed to get a job in jail records, then asked to apply for the Sheriff's Department, which I did. In 27 years today, here I am. I want to start with this first. It's exciting when you're raising your children and you're cheering them on and you're saying, good job, and I love what you're doing. Well, fast forward again, my kids are here. My oldest is 43. And she says, Mom, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. And I said, wow, that reminds me of what I did for them. So, it's kind of nice how you raise your children, how your children are apples from the tree. With the Sheriff's Department in my 27 years, I've been in several different divisions. I'm the unicorn here, folks. I'm still in a uniform, in a marked unit, boots on, dealing with the public. That's what I do every day. Not by choice, not when I want to do it, because I have to do it. And I still enjoy doing it. My encounters are with autistic individuals, with mental individuals that have mental illness, with elderly, with veterans, with all walks of life every day of my job at work. And what I do is I try to teach, with each one of them is treat it with dignity, the way I expect to be treated and the way I expect everybody to treat my family. I've been a patrol. I've been in the drug task force. I've been in property management. I've transported prisoners. I've been in communications where I worked 911 with the operators and served very well because I was a police officer and able to be on the phone on these hot calls with these people who had desperate things going on in their lives that I got to assist with. Along with that, I've also been in the several different civil divisions where I'm currently at, where I manage evictions, reclevens, and protective orders. And also, if the bad guy's there, I go there with another officer, not 10, not SWAT, but us to go pull them out. In the last 2 years, I was transferred between patrol and between VU unit. And with those two, from January to June, when I was there, 250 tickets I wrote, good tickets stuck, had a few go to court, none dismissed. Also, after that, they sent me to the Special Victims Unit again. The 17th of March, I will be going. I got 5 felonies, and that guy's going to do some prison time from a case I did in 8 months. What I see in the Sheriff's Department is something that I am and only I can do because I know the operations. I'm the only one that's been there from the ground up. And I know what needs to be done with the money that it's allocated and going in the right direction with mental health, with the commissary, with the medical, a lot of money moving around. We got consultants over consultants not needed. And with that money being moved around, I'd like to move it in other directions because we have a huge problem with that. I am the person, won't be behind the desk, but I will be watching over what the sheriff should be doing. I'll be watching my officers, making sure they're mentally and physically fit, because I will take care of them to make sure that they're serving the needs that what we swore to do on day one, to serve and protect. And I will make sure every officer that walked in excited, they have that shiny badge and happy to wear the uniform, when they exit and retire, they leave with the same attitude, because I am that person.
All righty. Renee, I'm going to have you take this off first.
So first of all, happy to see a woman running for sheriff. So I think that's just refreshing and having that a woman represented as one of the candidates. It is a lot of these folks. I will say that.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. Respectfully, though, I appreciate her law enforcement experience and her dedication to the job, and the fact that she is uniformed and probably understands, a lot of the kind of on the ground operations is a plus, right? Where I would have questions is around the fact that this job is not really, in my opinion, we'll discuss this later, it's not really around law enforcement, although you need to have the law enforcement background and experience. It's really an administrative position. And I wonder if she has the administrative, experience to run such a large, multifaceted organization. There's been a number of improprieties regarding finances and auditing and all of those things. There's a lot that has to happen to get jail operations to where they need to be. That again is not related to law enforcement, but it's really related to administrative resources. And I just wonder, I haven't seen any evidence that she brings that to this position, or that she has identified like folks on her team who could fill in with that gap in expertise. So that is a concern for me.
Carmen?
Yes. So, I too, like Renee, was happy to see a woman running. I noticed that when I went on her website, that some of the things that she listed for like leadership, were being on the board at Lake of Four Seasons and the HOA, different things like that. Respectfully, I was very discouraged to see that, because anybody that would put that there and think that that's a thing to qualify you, um, hurts my heart. But also there's, a fair amount of controversy between her and the sheriff. Who knows who's on first, what's on second. I get the feeling that even though she says she loves being on the street, she slips up and says, I have to. I don't know if you noticed it, but she slipped up and said, I have to do this. Um, I don't know. I don't see the resume. I don't see the experience, the administrative knowledge. I'm not seeing that she's ever managed any people at all. And if she did, what, a handful. And, now you're going into a job where you're handling budgets. You're trying to clean up stuff that was happening before. You're trying to figure out, how in the world do I hire 72 officers? Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think she's the one.
Shannon?
I pretty much agree with everything that they said. Yay, a woman's running. Unfortunately, I don't think she has the resume. Seeing her talk a few times and then um doing research on her website, her top priority, I mean, a, lo- a lot of them have the same priorities, but there were things missing from hers that I like. She doesn't really address mental health. And I actually had asked her if she felt that a mental health social worker is needed to work with the officers, and she did not. She does not think that that is needed, and that rubbed me the wrong way. She also um talked about her main priority of not allowing something with Illinois people crossing the border. That's anyways, like I said, her priorities
We'll
are
talk
not.
about that Illinois border thing in a little bit too, because there's another
Yeah.
candidate that has anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So her
Did
her
you
priorities, I don't think she has the resume.
All
So
right. All right, let's scoochie on.
Check this out.